Man, I am disappointed. Spider-Man didn't even go to Homecoming. That's such false advertising bullpucky. I mean, I wanted to see Spider-Man waltzing around like da 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 thwip thwip da 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 thwip 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 thwip. Hey guys, and welcome to my world. So yes, I have seen Spider-Man Homecoming now. Yes, the latest Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. But that's not the real reason I'm disappointed. No. Or even triggered. Okay? Yes, I'm slightly triggered. But I will get into that at the end of this movie review. So I'm going to review the movie first, and then I'll discuss why I'm triggered. It's not often that I get triggered, but yes, let's review Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay, so we have had a few incarnations of the wall crawler, the Spider-Man. Yes, everyone's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We have had a few incarnations of him. We have had this one. That's great. We've had this one. And we've had this one. No. And this weird one. Yeah, what was that? But now we have this one. Looks cool, right? Let's talk about it. So Spider-Man. This time it's Tom Holland bringing Spider-Man back for his own solo outing. Yes, we did get him in Civil War. But he's bringing him back for a solo individual movie. But that's not what's big about this. That's not the big thing. No. What's even bigger is that he's bringing him back to Marvel. He is bringing Spider-Man into the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, that's right. Spider-Man has come home. Hashtag Homecoming. Get it now. I get it now. What? That's a bad joke. So guys, I was excited for this movie, and the closer it got, the more hyped I got, okay? And I was excited for a number of reasons. I mean, Michael Keaton, that's right, the Birdman himself as the Vulture, that's exciting. Spider-Man coming to the MCU, that's exciting. And with him being such a standout part in Civil War, yeah, the hype was real, okay? But was Homecoming a standout movie? And for me, yeah, it was. But for all the wrong reasons. Yes, guys, let's swing. What was that noise? Right in to this movie review. So the story goes, Peter is having post-Civil War blues. He just wants to be part of the Avengers. That's all he wants. But instead, he is at school, he is doing homework, and whilst he's out doing his friendly neighborhood Spider-Man stuff, like helping out old ladies, he comes across the chance to show Tony he is ready to step up and become an Avenger. Yes, this is when he meets the Vulture. So yeah, that's the basic plot of Spider-Man Homecoming, and for the most part, it's actually pretty good. For an origin story without the origins. Like, it has to set up this Spideyverse in an already established universe. And for the most part, it does a good job. Like, you don't worry, you don't have to sit through another Uncle Ben shooting. Hashtag rest in peace, Uncle Ben. But talking of that, what they did, I really liked. Like, you don't see Uncle Ben shooting, but from the way Aunt May, that's right, the way May acts, and her mannerisms, and the way she talks, specifically to do with her worrying about the crimes around the block, and sort of Spider-Man fighting the crimes, and then Peter being out at night, stuff like that. The way she worries about Peter in this film, you can tell that she's going through some shit, like still from Uncle Ben being killed. And that touch was really really nice. So in a way, this is an origin story for Spider-Man, a coming-of-age story for Spider-Man, an origin story to the Spider-Verse in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it does a really good job at bringing all of that to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So yeah, setting up this Spideyverse in the MCU brings me to my first positive. All the Spider-Man characters in this movie, and we get a lot, we get a lot, they fit in really, really well into the MCU. It just, for me, it just felt like they were there all along, and it was a really, really positive touch with these characters in this universe. It was nice to see them all come over. The action in this movie, it's a comic book movie, so you're getting a lot of action. In this, for the most part, was good. Specifically the moment where Spider-Man goes up against the second Shocker. The fights between those two, I really, really loved that. The action there was super, super amazing. So the comedy in this is great too, and you have a lot of it. I mean, you get a lot of comedic relief from characters like Spider-Man's own Happy Hogan, Ned, and the Tinkerer, all the way to the comedy from Spider-Man himself. Which leads me on to my next positive. The comedy in this was fantastic, okay? And Spider-Man's comedic side was spot on. This felt very much like a comic Spider-Man. The dialogue he had, the comedy he brings, was 100% Spider-Man. It really was. And now I have addressed this in my Spider-Man discussion with Hazzahmatron. Go check that out if you haven't already. Each incarnation of Spider-Man has got so much better, okay? So, Tobey Maguire to Andrew Garfield was much better. And now Tom Holland, he's much more... As much as I love Garfield, like I love Garfield, Spider-Man and Peter Parker so much, but Tom Holland as Spider-Man had such great dialogue, had such great Spider-Man-esque comedy, that he is by far the best Spider-Man and Peter Parker that we have got, just from the dialogue, the mannerisms alone. It was so good. Another positive is the risk that this movie takes, okay? Now, story-wise, character-wise, the changes, the risk that it takes. There's two big ones that I won't spoil for you, okay? There's two reveals. And one of them I actually really, really liked, and it made for one of the funniest scenes in this movie. And then one of them I just didn't really like, but I'll get to that, Now, before I get to my final positive, let's address, by far, the biggest positive of them all, Michael Keaton's Vulture. This guy brought it like worms to the nest, okay? That's right, the Birdman himself as Adrian Toomes. He was awesome. He really was. I loved the Vulture in this movie. And the way that they made him a scavenger, just like a vulture, it was really cool. And the reason that they gave him for his motivations, yeah, I really, really bought into that and the whole character. This, like, Marvel films get a lot of negativity around their villains, or they're not solid villains. This is a solid villain. Oh my god, the Vulture was great. So my last positive, the amount of Tony Stark in this movie was perfect. Like, I'm so glad to see this movie wasn't oversaturated with him, Tony Stark and Iron Man, because that was something I was really worried about, and it could have become stale very, very quickly. I mean, if you've seen the trailers, or if you've seen just one trailer, you've probably seen like 80% of his scenes anyway. But what you do get, the scenes you do get, they're really good, and they're enough for his character. So that, for me, was a big positive, that he wasn't oversaturated in this film. Now, guys, talking trailers, let's get on to my negatives. Yes, guys, oh my god, Paul has negatives about an MCU movie. Guys, it wouldn't be the first time. Now, the first negative isn't really to do with the movies, it's to do with the trailer. And I've only seen one trailer, okay? Now, there are a few moments in the trailer that I saw that weren't in the movie at all. There's a few leaked images as well from the set that weren't in the movie. Now, guys, I fucking hate that. I hate seeing a trailer and then things I haven't seen in the trailer aren't in the movie. That really grates me. Guys, you know I hate that. But that is one of my negatives. Let's get into the negatives with the actual... So, guys, my negatives with the movie, I'm just going to come right out and say it. This movie is so overhyped. It really is. Like, to the point I genuinely walked out the cinema slightly disappointed with what I did get. And the more I think about it, and the more praise I see it getting, the more triggered I'm becoming, okay? Like, don't worry, I'll get onto the critics and, like, stuff like that later. They aren't escaping my rage right now, but this movie really is overhyped. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a great Spider-Man movie, but with the praise it's getting, like, all the stuff I'm seeing, like, 100%, or even the 90s, or comments like, flawless, or best MCU movie ever, and a lot of people are saying it. Yeah, this movie, even though it's good, is the most overrated movie I've seen this year. It's overhyped a lot. Now guys, let's talk my biggest problem with the actual movie, and for me it is the finale. It is the final showdown between Spider-Man and Vulture. It just didn't feel good. It really didn't. Like, it didn't pay off for me at all. It was over very, very quickly, and the previous scene that led into that on the plane that you see in the trailer, that fucked with my eyes, okay? So you have got, like, the sort of holographic lights, so you can't see the plane. There's a lot of bright, colourful lights going on, and it's a very, very dark shot scene that I couldn't tell what was going on, and the action you did get on the plane, it was very choppy, very up close, very quick cut, which I do not like for my action sequences, okay? I like to know what's going on, and guys, please don't ask me what happened up on that plane, because I do not know. I don't know. Yeah, alongside that miss of an action scene, the Vulture and the final showdown didn't pay off for me, considering how well that they utilised Vulture earlier in this movie, and some of the scenes where he's like, I will kill everyone you love. You don't really get that Vulture in the finale, which just let me down ultimately, and I just didn't buy into by the end of the movie. So for me, that is my biggest problem with this. Now guys, let's talk those character changes and the second reveal. Now I'm not going to spoil it for you, and yes, this movie does take a risk. But for me, that risk didn't pay off with this character. And for me, I just didn't buy into it, okay? And before people moan about character changes and me not liking character changes, I'm all fine with character changes. I mean, I really dug Flash Thompson in this movie. I had no problem with him. He was great. But this character and the changes they've done for that and the reveal, yeah, I just don't buy it. Another negative I had with this movie is the timeline. It's kind of confusing because at the beginning you've got this like setup post-Avengers, so post-incident, with like the cleanup crew and everything. So, what's it called? Damage control? Damage control, yeah. So you've got like that, and that's Avengers is set 2012 if I'm correct. And then I'm pretty sure Civil War's 2016. And then Homecoming's meant to be like a few months after Civil War, because he's got the Civil War blues. So I don't get why it's set, well, it says 8 years later. I'm pretty sure it said 8 years later, which would make it 2020. Civil War's not 2020. It's really confusing, so if you understand the timeline, let me know down in the comment section below, but for me, and I know Hazzahmatron felt the same way, that's a negative. But yeah, if you understand it, if it hasn't confused you and you do get it, let us know down in the comment section below, but for me, it was another negative for the film. Lastly, this movie felt its time. Like, don't get me wrong, it didn't drag and it didn't get boring, but there is a lot of downtime, which is cool to see in a Spider-Man movie because he's a kid, he's at school, he's gonna have that. He's gonna have a lot of different things to do. He's a superhero, he's a kid, he's going through a lot of issues. So yeah, there is a lot of downtime in this movie, but by the end of the movie, it really did feel its runtime. And guys, now that my negatives with the actual movie are out the way, let's address my biggest complaint, okay? Now, some critics and even fans have triggered me, okay? I mean, I was going to review this movie yesterday because I saw it Wednesday. It's now Friday, okay? I needed a day to think about it, okay? I needed to just take it all in. And the amount of praise I was getting, and like, I watch a lot of YouTubers, okay? And I don't watch movie reviews till I've seen the movie and done my own and like ready to do my own. And I had to unsubscribe from some of the people I watch because I can't stand hypocrites. I really cannot stand hypocrites. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, okay? And the amount of people praising Spider-Man Homecoming for the exact same reasons that they shat on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 for is so unreal. It really is. Now guys, the reason I want to address this is because you know I love the Amazing Spider-Man movies, 1 and 2. I love them both. They are still by far my favourite Spider-Man movies. I enjoy the hell out of them. And honestly, I don't get the hate. Like, I get some of the complaints, like, obviously the way Amazing Spider-Man 2 ended, yes, you saw it in the trailer, that shouldn't have happened. But I honestly do not get the hate that they get, and they do not deserve it. Right, guys, I need to sum this up quickly, okay? Right, the biggest complaint that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 got was there was too many villains, okay? And they weren't developed enough. Okay, right, we had 1, Rhino, okay? 2, Green Goblin. 3, Electro. 1, Rhino was barely in it. Okay, so, but that's 3 villains. We'll count 3 villains. Spider-Man Homecoming. You have Miles Morales' uncle. You have Mac Gargan himself, that's right, the Scorpion. You have the Tinkerer. You have Shocker 1. You have Shocker 2. And you have the Vulture. That is 6 villains in this movie. But no, apparently the villains in this movie are great. Now, besides Vulture, Vulture was great. He is one of the biggest, best villains in an MCU movie. They did him justice. But the other villains in this weren't developed at all. Okay, the Vulture had all the development. The Tinkerer wasn't developed. The 2 Shockers, their development was shocking. Mac Gargan in this was just basically Sony again trying to reach and make a Sinister Six movie. And that just leads me on to another complaint against Amazing Spider-Man 2. That it was just a setup for a Sinister Six movie. The Green Goblin was just there to set up Sinister Six. That's exactly what the Scorpion in this is basically there for. To set up more villains down the line. Like, I don't get it. Yet, in Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Green Goblin's arc was great. Harry. And it had a nice conclusion by the end of the film with the whole arc that carried over from the first Amazing Spider-Man to do with Gwen being safe and the promise he made to his dad, which led to her dying. That is a great conclusion of an arc over 2 movies. In Homecoming, Mac Gargan is, again, just Sony's way of just trying to make a Sinister Six movie or set up future villains for future movies. That's all he's there for. I genuinely hate hypocrites. Right, let's look at another complaint for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. There's too many subplots, okay? Now, Spider-Man is a kid at school who's probably going through a lot of transitions. He's probably going through puberty at some point. Add being a superhero into the mix. Yes, a Spider-Man movie needs a lot of subplots, okay? It needs a lot of arcs. He's going to have a crazy, busy life fighting crime, doing homework, being at school on time, helping out Aunt Bay. There's so many personal issues that he's going to have, and that's what makes Spider-Man so relatable. And to see one Spider-Man movie getting shat on for the amount of subplots it had, and then another one getting props, get the fuck out of here, man! Just thinking about all the hypocritical praise Homecoming is getting really makes me dislike it even more. And I mean like, DC, where are you at? Like, Batfleck, let's look sad together, okay? Hashtag brooding buddies. That's what, oh, man! The hypocritical praise this is getting is making me just, like, dread to look forward. Like, can you imagine if I come out liking Justice League right now? Oh my god! I reckon I'm going to like Justice League more than I have Spider-Man Homecoming. All because of the critics and the fans' praise. So hypocritical. But yes, guys, honestly, overall, Spider-Man Homecoming is a good movie. but it is hugely, hugely overrated with a lot of hypocritical praise and overhype. It's definitely by far the best Spider-Man incarnation we have got, with a solid Marvel villain. I enjoyed this movie. I really did enjoy this movie, but I did leave underwhelmed. It's really hard. It's a very weird one to talk about, because I did like the movie. I did enjoy it, but for what I did get, I left underwhelmed, and the overhype and the hypocritical praise, it's just pissing me off. Like, but to be honest, I am looking forward to where they go with Spider-Man in Spider-Man Homecoming 2, Spider-Man 3, all that down the line. I'm looking forward to seeing him turn up in Infinity War. I'm looking forward to seeing Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I really am. But yeah, overall, it's just overhyped. It's just such an overhyped movie. But guys, let me know your thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming down in the comment section below. Did you like it? Did you think it was overhyped? Are you feeling the same way as me? Do you not believe the hype? Do you think it's overrated? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. Go check out our Spider-Man discussion and stay tuned for future videos. I will be seeing, what have we got? War of the Planet of the Apes next week. That's going to be, I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that's going to be good. So yeah, if you want to see that movie review, hit subscribe, stay tuned for that. And yeah, let's not believe the hype. Although Thor Ragnarok, that's hype. That's hype. I saw the trailer on the big screen again for the second time. I'm so jacked for that film, I really am. But guys, let me know all your thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming down in the comment section below. And guys, as always, thanks for watching and take care. See you later!
Guess who's back again.
Guys, a big thank you to watching the video. If you liked what you've seen and you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up. And in the meantime, why not check out some of my other videos? You've got one here, you've got one there, and you've got one there. Guys, go check out those videos, hit subscribe, and see you in the next video.